Ladies and gentlemen, 6 months might sound like a short time, but it can be enough to completely change your life. We often think we need years to see progress, but the truth is, focused effort for even half a year can shift everything. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment, it is about starting with what you have right now. The first thing you must understand is that you have more power than you believe. Every day you wake up, you get a chance to choose your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. 6 months from now, you could be living a completely different story if you decide today to write it. Believing that 6 months is enough to change your life starts with shifting your mindset from limitation to possibility. Most people underestimate what they can do in a short period and overestimate what they can achieve in the distant future. This thinking keeps them trapped, always planning for someday, but never taking action today. 6 months is not a lifetime, but it is also not a weekend. It is enough time to see visible, tangible results in almost every area of your life if you use it with focus and intention. When you believe that 6 months can make a difference, you begin to value each day more. You stop treating time as something you have an unlimited supply of. Instead, you start asking yourself how each day is contributing to the person you want to be at the end of those 6 months. This belief creates urgency, not panic, but a healthy pressure to stop wasting time on things that do not align with your goals. Belief is not blind optimism. It is not simply telling yourself that things will magically get better. It is the conviction that if you show up every day, make deliberate choices and commit to growth, the results will come. When you hold this belief, you do not let yourself get distracted by how far you still have to go. You focus on what can be done today that will get you one step closer. Believing in the power of 6 months also means letting go of the excuses that keep you stuck. It means no longer saying, "I will start when I have more time," or "I need to be fully ready before I begin." The truth is, you will never feel completely ready. The perfect conditions you are waiting for do not exist. The moment you realize this, you take your power back. In these 6 months, progress will not always be visible. Some days you will feel as if nothing is changing, but the belief you hold will remind you that transformation happens quietly, underneath the surface, before it becomes obvious. Seeds do not sprout the moment they are planted. They need time, care, and patience. Your growth is the same. Your belief must be strong enough to survive the moments when doubt creeps in. You might have friends or family who tell you that 6 months is not enough, that you are being unrealistic. But this is your journey, not theirs. Their doubts belong to them, not you. Keep your focus on what you can control, and remember that no one can see your vision as clearly as you can. When you truly believe that 6 months is enough, your behavior changes. You stop wasting time on activities that do not serve your purpose. You become more disciplined. You say no more often because you are clear on what deserves your attention. This clarity allows you to direct your energy toward habits and actions that will compound over time. This belief also turns failures into lessons. If you know that your timeline is short, you do not waste weeks feeling sorry for yourself when something goes wrong. You learn quickly, adjust, and keep moving forward. Every mistake becomes a stepping stone, not a setback. Believing that 6 months is enough is about giving yourself permission to start now, without waiting for another year, another month, or another Monday. It is about trusting that the person you can become in half a year is worth the effort, the discipline, and the sacrifices you will make. This belief is the spark that will light the fire of your transformation. Taking ownership of your thoughts and actions is the moment you decide that your life is your responsibility, not anyone else's. It is easy to blame circumstances, people, or even the past for where you are right now. But as long as you give away that control, you give away the power to change. Owning your thoughts means becoming aware of what you are telling yourself every single day. The conversations you have in your mind shape the actions you take in the world. If those conversations are filled with doubt, negativity, and excuses, your actions will reflect that. If they are filled with belief, responsibility, and solutions, your actions will lead you somewhere better. When you take ownership, you stop waiting for someone to motivate you. You stop expecting people to fix things for you. You begin to see that no one is coming to save you. The choices you make today are the building blocks of your tomorrow. If you waste a day, that is on you. If you take a step forward, that is also on you. This level of accountability might feel heavy at first because it removes the comfort of blaming others. But it also gives you freedom because you are no longer tied to what anyone else does or does not do. Taking ownership of your actions means recognizing that you are not just a passenger in your life. You are the driver. You decide how much effort you put in, how you react when things go wrong, and whether you keep going or give up. You may not control every event that happens to you, but you do control how you respond to it. That response is what shapes your life far more than the event itself. It also means setting standards for yourself, not standards based on what others expect from you, but standards that align with the person you want to become. If you want to be someone who is disciplined, you act with discipline even on days you do not feel like it. If you want to be someone who achieves goals, you take daily steps toward those goals without waiting for motivation to magically appear. Ownership is about consistency, not convenience. Taking ownership of your thoughts requires self-awareness. It means paying attention to the moments you are thinking in a way that limits you. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I cannot," "I am not ready," or "it is too hard," you replace it with "I will find a way," "I am learning," and "I can handle this." Over time, these shifts in language change the way you see yourself, and that changes the way you act. There will be times when you slip, when you make decisions you regret or react in ways you are not proud of. Ownership is not about perfection. It is about admitting when you are wrong, learning from it, and adjusting your path without making excuses. Blaming the weather, your boss, your friends, or your past might make you feel better for a moment, but it will never move you forward. Taking ownership also forces you to look at your habits honestly. If you spend hours scrolling on your phone instead of working toward your goals, that is a choice you are making. If you skip healthy meals or avoid exercising, that is a choice. If you put in the effort to learn a new skill, read a book, or practice discipline, that is also a choice. Every action you take is either bringing you closer to your vision or pulling you further away from it. The moment you fully accept this, you stop living on autopilot. You start to see that every single day is an opportunity to choose better thoughts and take better actions. This level of responsibility may feel uncomfortable, but it is the foundation for lasting change because no one can take it away from you once you claim it. Focusing on consistent effort over perfection is the difference between dreaming about change and actually achieving it. Too many people get stuck because they think everything has to be flawless before they can move forward. They want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect environment. The truth is, perfection is a trap that keeps you from starting and makes you waste valuable time. Consistency, on the other hand, is what builds results. When you commit to showing up every single day, even if your effort is small or imperfect, you create momentum. That momentum is what carries you through the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Perfection demands that you never make a mistake, but life does not work that way. You will make mistakes, and things will not always go according to plan. Consistency accepts this reality and moves forward anyway. A workout that is only 20 minutes long is better than skipping it because you could not do a full hour. Writing one page is better than writing nothing because you were not in the mood to finish a whole chapter. These small, imperfect actions might not seem like much in the moment, but over weeks and months they add up to something powerful. When you focus on perfection, you spend too much time thinking and not enough time doing. You overanalyze, you delay, and you hesitate. Consistency frees you from that cycle. It teaches you that action, even imperfect action, is better than inaction. You learn to value progress over flawless execution. This shift changes how you approach every goal in your life. Instead of asking yourself, "Is this perfect?" you start asking, "Is this a step forward?" Consistent effort also teaches discipline. It is easy to work hard when you feel inspired. It is much harder to keep going when you are tired, busy, or not seeing immediate results. But those are the moments when consistency matters most. The effort you put in on difficult days carries more weight than the effort you put in when everything feels easy. Over time, this discipline becomes part of who you are, and you no longer rely on bursts of motivation to keep you going. Perfectionism often leads to disappointment because it sets an impossible standard. No matter how hard you work, you will always find something that could have been done better. Consistency allows you to celebrate the fact that you are showing up and making progress, even if things are not exactly as you imagined. This mindset keeps you moving forward instead of stuck in a cycle of self-criticism. Focusing on consistency also builds trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on your commitment, you prove to yourself that you can be relied on. You start to believe in your own ability to stick with something, and that belief makes you stronger. It is not about doing everything perfectly from day one. It is about doing it regularly until it becomes a natural part of your life. Small, repeated actions compound over time. A single day of effort might not change your life, but 180 days of consistent effort can. This is why the 6-month commitment can be so powerful. It is not about doing one massive thing perfectly. It is about doing small, meaningful things consistently until they transform your habits, your mindset, and your results. Consistency also makes room for improvement. The more often you do something, the better you become at it. You refine your skills, you find more efficient ways to work, and you learn from your mistakes. If you wait for perfection before starting, you never get the chance to improve because you never truly begin. The act of showing up every day is what creates growth, not the act of doing something flawlessly on the first try. Accepting discomfort as part of growth means understanding that change is not supposed to feel easy. Many people give up on their goals, not because they are impossible, but because they mistake discomfort for a sign that they are doing something wrong. The truth is, if you want to grow, you have to be willing to step outside what feels familiar and safe. Comfort zones are called that for a reason. They are predictable, easy, and comfortable, but nothing new ever happens there. To create a different life, you have to face situations that challenge you, push you, and make you uncomfortable. Discomfort is often the first sign that you are moving in the right direction. It shows up when you are trying something new, when you are learning a skill you do not yet master, or when you are breaking a habit you have had for years. Your mind and body naturally resist this because they are wired to seek safety and stability. That resistance can make you doubt yourself, but it is actually a signal that you are growing. Every new level of your life will demand a new version of you, and meeting that demand is rarely a comfortable process. When you avoid discomfort, you also avoid the opportunity to grow stronger. Struggle builds resilience. The more you face challenges, the more capable you become of handling bigger ones. If you hide from hard things, you keep yourself small, and your potential stays locked away. Discomfort forces you to stretch your limits, and in doing so, it expands what you believe you are capable of. Part of accepting discomfort is letting go of the idea that progress should be smooth. It will not be. There will be days when you feel tired, frustrated, or even tempted to quit. These moments are not a sign of failure, they are a sign that you are doing the work. Every skill you admire in others, every success story you look up to, was built through periods of doubt, struggle, and persistence. Discomfort also teaches patience. In a world that moves fast and rewards instant results, it is easy to become frustrated when things do not change overnight. But lasting change takes time, and it often feels uncomfortable while it is happening. The physical soreness after a workout, the mental strain of learning something difficult, the emotional vulnerability of facing your fears, these are all part of the process. If you can endure them, you will come out stronger on the other side. When you start to see discomfort as a normal part of growth, you stop running from it. Instead, you lean into it. You recognize that it is not a threat, but a teacher. It is there to show you where you still need to improve, to point out the parts of yourself that need strengthening. Avoiding it only keeps you stuck in the same patterns you are trying to escape. Another important thing to understand is that discomfort is temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. You might feel fear before speaking in public, frustration while learning a new skill, or exhaustion during a tough project. But once you have faced those challenges, you will carry the confidence and experience with you forever. The discomfort fades, but the benefits remain. Accepting discomfort as part of growth does not mean you have to enjoy it. It means you stop letting it scare you away from the life you want. It means you recognize that the very things that make you uncomfortable are the things that will shape you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable person. When you stop expecting the journey to be easy, you stop being surprised when it gets hard, and you keep moving forward anyway. Prioritizing and focusing on one goal at a time is one of the most effective ways to create meaningful progress. Many people set themselves up for failure because they try to change everything at once. They start a new diet, begin a workout routine, take on a new skill, work on a business idea, and attempt to fix all their habits at the same time. This approach quickly leads to burnout and frustration because their attention and energy are scattered. True change happens when you direct your full focus toward a single priority, giving it the time and commitment it needs to grow. When you have one main goal, you eliminate a lot of the noise that distracts you. You no longer waste time deciding what to work on each day because the path is clear. Every action you take, every choice you make is guided by that one target. This clarity not only increases productivity, it also reduces stress because you are no longer juggling multiple competing priorities. Focusing on one goal also allows you to measure your progress more effectively. When you try to achieve too many things at once, it becomes difficult to see how far you have come in any of them. By narrowing your focus, you can clearly track your improvement, celebrate milestones, and adjust your approach when necessary. This creates a cycle of motivation, where each small success builds momentum for the next step. Another reason focusing on one goal works is because it deepens your skill and understanding in that area. The more time and attention you give to a single pursuit, the faster you develop expertise. You notice patterns, learn from mistakes more quickly, and find more efficient ways to work. This depth of experience is impossible to achieve when your attention is constantly shifting from one thing to another. Prioritization also helps you protect your most valuable resources: time, energy, and attention. All three are limited, and when they are spread across too many commitments, the quality of your work suffers. By committing to one goal, you ensure that these resources are concentrated where they will have the biggest impact. This is why people who master the art of focus often achieve more in a short time than others do in years. Staying committed to one goal requires discipline because distractions will always be there. New opportunities, new ideas, and the temptation to do more can pull you away from your path. It is easy to convince yourself that you can handle multiple goals if you just work harder. but this almost always leads to average results in all areas instead of excellence in one. The ability to say no to everything that does not serve your main goal is a skill that separates those who succeed from those who give up. Focusing on a single priority also teaches patience. It forces you to slow down and respect the process instead of chasing instant results. You understand that great things take time, and you learn to appreciate the progress you are making instead of rushing to the next thing. This patience is a sign of maturity in your approach to growth and success. Choosing one goal does not mean you will never work on anything else in your life. It means that for a set period, whether it is a few months or a year, you give your best energy to the goal that matters most right now. Once you achieve it, you can shift your focus to the next priority with the same level of dedication. Over time, this approach leads to massive results because each goal gets the attention it truly deserves. By keeping your attention fixed on one target, you create a clear path forward. You remove confusion, cut down on wasted effort, and give yourself the best possible chance of turning your intention into reality. This is how consistent, focused effort transforms a single goal into a lasting achievement that changes the direction of your life. Staying committed even when results are invisible is one of the hardest parts of any journey toward change. In the beginning, enthusiasm is high because you are motivated by the excitement of a fresh start. But as days turn into weeks and the visible results you expected are nowhere to be seen, doubt begins to creep in. This is where most people quit, not because the goal is impossible, but because they cannot see proof that their effort is working. The truth is, the most important progress often happens in silence, behind the scenes, before you have anything to show for it. Commitment in these moments means trusting the process, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It is reminding yourself that growth takes time, and that the work you put in today is building a foundation for results that will appear later. Seeds do not sprout the moment they are planted. They grow roots first, hidden under the soil, preparing for the moment they break through the surface. Your efforts work in the same way. You may not see the changes right away, but they are happening. When you stop expecting instant results, you free yourself from the frustration that often leads to giving up. You start to value the act of showing up as much as the outcome itself. You understand that every repetition, every small effort is a brick in the structure you are building. Skipping a day because it is not working anyway is like removing those bricks. You weaken the foundation before it even has a chance to become strong. Staying committed in the face of invisible results requires a shift in focus from outcome to process. Instead of constantly asking, "When will I see the results?" you ask, "Am I doing the right things consistently?" This way of thinking keeps you disciplined and stops you from abandoning your efforts too soon. Over time, the process becomes a habit, and the habit becomes part of your identity. You no longer rely on quick wins to keep going because your commitment is rooted in who you are, not in what you see. Patience plays a huge role in this. In a world where everything seems instant fast food, instant messages, overnight shipping, it is easy to forget that meaningful achievements do not follow that timeline. Physical transformation, career growth, learning new skills, building relationships, these things take months or even years. The fact that results are not visible right now does not mean they are not on their way. Another way to stay committed when results are invisible is to track your small wins. Even if they are not dramatic, they are proof that you are moving forward. Maybe you can lift a little more weight, work a little longer without distraction, or handle a situation with more confidence than before. These are signs that the effort is paying off, even if the big breakthrough has not arrived yet. Discipline is what carries you through the dry spells. Motivation may start your journey, but it is not enough to keep you going through long stretches without visible progress. Discipline reminds you that quitting will only guarantee failure, while staying the course keeps the possibility of success alive. It is this understanding that separates those who eventually reach their goals from those who stop halfway. There will be moments when you feel like your hard work is unnoticed and unrewarded. In those times, you have to remember why you started in the first place. Your reasons, your vision, and your belief in what you are building must be stronger than your doubts. Results will come, but only if you keep going long enough to see them. The invisible stage is not a sign to stop. It is the part of the journey where your commitment is tested the most. Stop waiting for perfect conditions means understanding that if you wait for everything to be right before you start, you will spend your whole life waiting. Many people never take action because they convince themselves they need more time, more money, more knowledge, or more confidence before they begin. This mindset feels safe because it allows you to delay without admitting you are afraid. But perfect conditions do not exist, and if you keep waiting for them, your goals will stay as ideas in your head instead of becoming realities in your life. The truth is, every successful person you admire started without all the answers. They did not have a flawless plan, unlimited resources, or total confidence. They began with what they had, learned along the way, and adjusted as they went. The reason they succeeded was not because everything was perfect. It was because they took action despite the imperfections. They understood that progress is built through movement, not waiting. When you stop waiting for the ideal moment, you take back control of your timeline. You no longer let outside circumstances decide when you are allowed to start. You realize that you have enough right now to take at least one step forward. That first step might not feel like much, but it creates momentum, and momentum has a way of attracting opportunities, people, and resources that you could not have accessed while standing still. Waiting for perfection also feeds procrastination. The longer you wait, the more you convince yourself that starting later will somehow be easier. But the reality is, starting will always feel uncomfortable. You will always have doubts. You will always feel like you are missing something. Once you accept this, you stop letting uncertainty be a reason to delay. You act anyway, even if the action is small, because small actions build confidence and clarity. Another problem with waiting for the perfect conditions is that you cannot predict the future. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well you prepare, there will be challenges you did not expect. If you wait until you feel ready for every possible obstacle, you will never begin. By starting now, you give yourself the chance to face challenges earlier, learn from them, and become stronger before bigger opportunities arrive. It is also important to understand that action creates clarity. You can spend months thinking about how something will go, but you will not truly know until you try. Starting allows you to test your ideas in reality instead of keeping them locked in your imagination. You can see what works, what does not, and what needs to change. Without action, all you have are guesses. When you choose to act without waiting for perfection, you learn to work with imperfection instead of fighting it. You become adaptable. You learn to solve problems quickly and make the most of what you have. These skills will serve you far more than the ability to create a flawless plan, because real life rarely follows a perfect script. There will always be reasons to delay. There will always be things you wish were better before you start. But each day you wait is a day you could have been making progress. The people who achieve their goals are not the ones who had the best starting conditions. They are the ones who started when they had every reason not to. They understood that time passes whether you act or not, and they chose to spend that time moving forward instead of standing still. Taking action today for the future you want means recognizing that every single choice you make now is shaping the life you will live later. It is easy to get caught in the trap of thinking you will start tomorrow, next week, or next year. But time moves quickly, and those tomorrows add up to years of lost opportunities. The future is not some distant event that will magically improve on its own. It is being built in this exact moment by the actions you decide to take or avoid. If you want a better life, you have to start planting the seeds for it today. Action today does not have to be massive to matter. Even small, consistent steps can set you on a completely different path. Reading a few pages of a book, sending one important email, practicing a skill for 10 minutes, or making one healthy choice might not seem like much, but over time, these actions compound. The decisions you make now create habits, and those habits will either bring you closer to your goals or pull you further away from them. Waiting for the right time only wastes the time you already have. Taking action now also means refusing to be paralyzed by overthinking. Many people spend so much energy planning, worrying, and predicting outcomes that they never actually start. While planning is important, it should never become a way to hide from the work. You will never have all the answers before you begin, and that is okay. The act of moving forward will reveal what needs to be adjusted along the way. When you take action today, you also send a powerful message to yourself. You prove that your goals are a priority, not just a dream. This builds self-trust and confidence because you are no longer someone who talks about what they will do someday. You become someone who acts, who makes things happen. Over time, this identity shift changes the way you see yourself and the way others see you. Action today also creates opportunities that would not exist if you stayed still. Every step forward puts you in a position to meet new people, discover new resources, and learn new lessons. The sooner you start, the sooner you can benefit from these unexpected chances. Opportunities often come to those who are already in motion, not those who are waiting for them to appear. It is important to remember that the perfect conditions you imagine for starting might never come. You may not have all the resources, skills, or confidence you wish you had, but you have something just as important. You have the ability to begin. Starting now allows you to grow those resources, skills, and confidence over time, instead of endlessly waiting for them to appear. Taking action today also means accepting that mistakes are part of the process. You might take a wrong turn, make a poor choice, or experience a setback. But every action, even the imperfect ones, teaches you something valuable. The more you act, the more you learn, and the better you become at making decisions that lead to success. Doing nothing teaches you nothing. Ultimately, the life you want is the result of thousands of small, deliberate actions taken over time. Each day you delay is one less day you have to build the future you imagine. Acting today ensures that when you look back months or years from now, you will see a path of progress instead of a list of regrets about all the things you never started.